Hi guys, I'm back. I'm back in the Naruto world, actually. But hopefully you guys enjoyed last episode. Let's continue. So, it's been another year, and it's the day before the the Genin exams. So the day before Mizuki basically betrays the village. But it's not going to end the same as canon, obviously. Naruto is still the bottom of the class because everybody, well, except for the civilians, everybody has been working with Sasuke Uchiha and Elizabeth. God, I really hate how I keep forgetting the name of the Tenten's last name. Higurashi, Elizabeth Higurashi. Everybody keeps asking basically Elizabeth, she goes by Liz most of the time, why I call her Laz, or why she calls me either criminal or unsmooth or Alex. And if you guys don't know, that is my real first name, Alex. That's pretty much the only thing I'm going to tell you about my real life. But they're confused on why, and I say it's an inside joke between us three. And they're like, 3? And he goes, yeah. You'll understand later. When people tell you. Anyway. So they've gotten used to me being called Alex by a Elizabeth, or Laz, and me calling her Laz. So, it's the day before. Naruto roped me, Shikamaru, Laz, Choji, Ino, Sakura, Kiba, and Shino in on painting the Hokage monument. So we painted it to where it looks real, and I sealed it onto the mountain to where it can't be taken off ever. And then we painted over that in goofy paint. So the 4th Hokage, it has a bowl cut, a word bubble of youth coming out of his mouth with a thumbs up. The 3rd Hokage has blood dripping down his nose, stars in his eyes, looking at Ichibuke. The 2nd Hokage, a Tobirama, is looking at a picture of a naked guy. And Hashirama, the 1st Hokage, is currently petting a tree like it's a puppy. And I bring down the Genjutsu to show the Hokage monument. And we all set off flares across the entirety of Konoha. And they're special flares that I designed to... It goes off once. Launches further in the sky, goes off again, launches further in the sky, up to 9 times. To signify the 9 people that helped with this prank. And the Anbu have figured that out. Depending on how many times those flares go off, depends on how many people pulled off this prank. And one Anbu waits for all the flares to go off. 9 flares, 9 times they go off later, or they use their tattoo because it is a communication seal. It says 9 intruders. Prepare your Operation Fox Hunt, because they're like, it's a joke. They're not actually going to be ruining the Hokage monument. It's just to test what they can do. Shino completely disappears. Kiba uses Akamaru and just runs around in basically circles. Just be like, Wait, what? There's two of you? Wait, one's Akamaru, and then they keep going. Naruto just made a crap ton of clothes. It's just scattered. So whenever they catch one and it's not the real one, it poofs out of existence. Me, on the other hand, I just sat down on top of the Hokage monument and just waited. And then all of a sudden, Weasel shows up and goes, let me guess. Top layer is completely removable. And he goes, maybe. Or maybe you don't have the right one. And I poof out of existence. He goes, God damn it. So he runs off trying to find me. In reality, I'm currently sitting on the leaf, or sitting on the image of a leaf from the sapling that Hashirama is currently petting. And I'm just watching all this chaos happen. Laz is running around at the speed of sound, literally at the speed of sound, because she figured something out, and you'll understand that later. Naruto is still scattering. Every few minutes, he'd make more clones. And finally, Iruka shows up right next to me and goes, I'm glad you told me that after 30 minutes, you'd be in this exact spot. Because if you didn't, no one would be able to find you. And I go, yeah. I did this to test the Anbu's readiness for a sudden invasion of people with so much chakra that they could flood this city with clones. Or so diverse in abilities that there's not one person that's needed to take them down. And just points out into the middle of the area. They all failed. They all failed drastically. The Hokage appears to be like, I only came here because Iruka's chakra signature stopped moving here. And I go, yeah. Point out to the city and be like, the Anbu failed. They absolutely suck. He goes, you and your damn pranks. I go, yeah. They're really great, aren't they? He just deadpan looks at me and I go, what? I'm getting them ready for what could be an invasion or what could start a war or all this kind of other stuff. And he looks at me and goes, you're getting us ready for an invasion, aren't you? I'm like, no comment. Iruka's just completely confused at what we're talking about. I look directly at the Hokage and say, in 1 hour, we win. He goes, fine. He goes underneath his robes and grabs the tattoo and says, Fox hunt will end in an hour. If none of them are caught, we lose. If one of them are caught, that person has detention for another year. And Sasuke hears this and immediately goes to his neck, grabs 2 points, starts flowing chakra into it, and say, I don't suggest getting caught, or that's detention for an entire year, with Iruka Sensei lecturing you on the exact same thing over and over and over of why you shouldn't be caught in enemy territory. And Iruka's just constantly sweating, be like, how did he know I was going to say that? And he just hears in the back of his mind, ah, crap, from all of them, except for Shino. He goes, that is very logical of him to do. And everybody just stops deadpan and he goes, why is Shino always like this? So we go an hour later, and the Hokage looks at his Anbu forces, most of them, not all of them, because they're still needed around the village, and goes, what did you not do today? They go, catch them. He goes, yes, You didn't catch them. Now, here's what went wrong. And he lists all the things that they did to just discombobulate the entire village. And I walk up behind the Hokage and be like, so now that you guys know what you did wrong, and we're about to graduate, I've enlisted the help of the Konohamaru Corps. And Hiruzen just looks at him and goes, you didn't. And I say, I enlisted him to be the next group of pranksters. So if you are wondering who's pranking then, it's Konohamaru Sarutobi, Moegi, and Udon. And soon will be Hinabi Hyuga too. Oh, did I forget Hinata's there? She's so quiet and timid to everybody except for the group that she's forgettable. Like, completely, just absolutely forgettable. And all of a sudden, Hinata sneaks up behind the Hokage and touches him with a feather. Hokage flips around and sees a bright orange feather. And everybody looks at it and he just starts cursing it with a storm. And so, Sasuke, looks at them and goes, Hokage just got assassinated right in front of you. And they all just go bug-eyed. And Hinata just waves the feather and just walks away. And the Hinata that they saw, once she gets off the stage, just crumbles down into earth. And everybody's eyes just widen even more. And I go, well, off to the last day of normal classes. Hopefully we don't have a freaking lecture on the clone technique again. Ugh. In class, I must punish you because you did a prank. So today we're going over the clone jutsu. But as a reward for successfully not getting captured, and Sasuke and I am like, are you sure about that? Because you guys were standing right next to me. He goes, wait, that was the real you? And he goes, did you sense the multiple versions of me? He goes, no. Okay, which one was you? And he goes, to your right. He goes, I was standing to the left. You were to the right of the Hokage, weren't you? He goes, yep. I really love my genjutsus. He goes, I really fucking hate the Uchihas. He goes, heh. That's what our name is for. So, he goes, since absolutely none of you would have been able to be caught, looks directly at Naruto and goes, this is all your fault. We're going over the clone again. All the civilians are like, ugh. The rookie 9, are like, okay. They all make their own version of clone. Hinata's water, Kiba's man-beast clone, Shino's bug. Naruto, he just makes 30 friggin' normal clones, being like, this is the least I can make, and then puts his hand down. I make a fire clone. Yes, Laz is gonna make a different kind of clone. She makes a wind clone. That's very important. She makes a wind clone. And Shikamaru makes a shadow clone. Different kind of shadow clone. Choji makes a shadow clone too. One of Naruto's shadow clones, though. So, 30 minutes after. Yeah, 30 minutes after class is over. Everybody is at Ichiraku. There's an extra table out that says, for the graduates only. And then one says for civilians only. And Naruto looks at Ichiraku and goes, "That's our table, though." And he goes, "No, that's table only for graduates. If you're going to graduate tomorrow, that's the only place you can be." And I immediately look at him and go, you know he's not going to get it, right? Teiichi just starts laughing. Ayame giggles. Laz just looks deadpan at me and goes, he's never going to get jokes that are intellectually higher than he is. And I look dead at her and go, you know, how you say it makes me sound so freaking stupid. And it's freaking hilarious. Because I hear Shikamaru snickering, Choji snickering, Ino's laughing. You hear faint buzzing from Shino. Everybody's having a good time. The next day, everybody except for Naruto graduates. I look directly at Naruto and say, I know exactly what happened to you. And he goes, yeah. Someone cast a genjutsu on me. Cast a genjutsu on my test. And Mizuki did not hold back. I go, yeah, fair. You really should have taken your weights off then. He goes, nah. I'm going to the Hokage later and telling him what Mizuki told me to do. I go, you know, him trying to steal the Forbidden Scroll is freaking laughable. He goes, yeah, wait, how do you know? I go, I got my sources. So I walk into the Higurashi blacksmith shop and walk into the back. And it's maybe 5 minutes after I talk to Naruto, and I go, it's time to try the suit. It's time to try the suit. And Laz looks at me and goes, can I try one of mine? And he goes, did you finally accept that you can't use Hyoten or Storm? And she goes, yes. I go, you just don't have enough control over lightning or water. She goes, I understand. Wish I could use those. Those ones are cool. I go, I know. That's why you have Swift. She goes, I really hate those voices in your head. I go, they're not in my head anymore. She goes, bullcrap. And I go, they're not. I haven't heard a single peep from them since I came to this world. She goes, I don't trust you with that. I go, fine. I wouldn't trust myself either. But I haven't heard a word from him. So, you want your Swift release suit? And she goes, yeah. I go, it's to the cabinet left of your main suit. And she goes, main suit? I go, your hurricane suit. And she goes, oh. So she gets in her suit. I open up the door to mine and pull out a scroll. And she goes, why do you have a scroll? And I go, first off, I start taking off my weights. And she goes, what? Huh? It's not a normal suit. This is my metal release suit. And she goes, I forgot you had metal release. I go, yeah. So, with this suit, remember that game called Warframe? She goes, barely. I'm Rhino. She goes, you mean that guy that had Charge, Stomp, Iron Skin, and Roar? If I remember them correctly. He goes, yeah. I'm not just any Rhino. I'm the special skinned Rhino. I love that skin. And she goes, oh God. That doesn't make me feel any better. I go, So I put on the gauntlets and the boots. The gauntlets and boots you see there. And I'm like, It's time to stomp some people to the ground. I do a funky dance, say, suit up! She just deadpan stares at me and goes, you did not just do that. I go, I've always wanted to do that. I'm an idiot. Don't judge me. And I walk right over to the other one while the suit constantly grows onto my skin. My arms go from twigs to these fat, basically like cannon size arms. I walk right up to the door, open it, grab like stone looking arms and putting them on top of the rhino arms and say, seal. Yes, I'll show you them later. But I seal them inside this suit. And she goes, please tell me you didn't make another Warframe. I go, yep. And if you guys can guess what Warframe, before I say it in this episode, you get to breathe a little longer. Otherwise, hold your breath for 30 seconds. You're taking up my oxygen. So, I seal them in this suit, and I power down my suit, basically. And all you see is just a bracelet on my right, left, and 2 bracelets on my ankles. Because I currently have my boots off. I put my boots on, I put my ninja gear on, because I just had my, basically, skin-tight muscle shirt, which shows my 6-pack. Yes, in this, I have a 6-pack. I wish I had a 6-pack in real life. But, anyway, in this, I have a 6-pack. My legs are well-defined in, basically, my tight Ombu pants. So I put baggy pants, tape it, boots, baggy shirt, or a sweatshirt actually, tape it on my wrists, put gloves over my hands, fingerless gloves to be more exact, and I go walking to the Forest of Death. And I find Naruto there, reading a scroll. I immediately grab the scroll, put it on my back, be like, you know that's the forbidden scroll, right? And he goes, yep. And he goes, did you tell the Hokage? He goes, yep. I go, did you knock him out too? He goes, maybe. Oh, you used that jutsu, didn't you? And Laz shows up in her normal ninja outfit, which you could see if you seen her. Hold on. Yeah, that's her normal ninja outfit. And this is her swift release outfit. But that's the image I'm going to be doing for right this second. I look at it, and she looks at me and goes, what jutsu? I'm like, you remember that one jutsu I told you about? That he used against the Hokage? And she goes, you mean that jutsu? The one that all perverts will enjoy? And I go, yeah. And she goes, if he used that, I'm cutting off his balls. I go, come on. It works really well to knock out the Hokage. She goes, that is honestly a fair point, but I'm still cutting off his balls. Starts walking towards Naruto and goes, I didn't use it. I swear, I didn't use it. Just starts backing up. And Iruka appears behind us and like, what the hell is going on here? I go, yo, I need you to do something. Hands Iruka the scroll and be like, take this back to the Hokage. He goes, why? I go, traitor, tricked Naruto, messed with his tests and all that, and is looking for it, wants to kill Naruto because of the thing inside of him. Quick, that was the quick answer. Go to the Hokage, watching his crystal orb. We're about to fight. I got my suit ready. He goes, you got your what? I got my suit ready. The Hokage is in his office, just really giddy, looking forward to it. And Laz is like, yeah, he also got my suit ready too. And the Hokage's like, I can't wait. So Hiruka's like, okay, and he shunshin's away. I go next to Naruto, sit down, and I say, time to wait. Naruto's like, I could have learned more from that scroll. And I go, oh, don't worry, I have a copy of it at my house. And Hiruzen in his office is like, wait, what? And Itachi in the trees face faults onto the floor, being like, you have what? I look at him and go, huh, I thought you'd be following me. You followed him? Good idea. He goes, that's beside the point. I say, I suggest you hide, because he's about to get here in like 10 seconds. So he hides back in the trees and is like, I really need to ask him questions. And I'm like, time to disappear. Both Laz and myself disappear behind a genjutsu. And Mizuki comes up like an idiot, being like, so Naruto, you failed. And he goes, no, I got the scroll. Already passed. He pulls out a headband from behind himself, ties it up to his forehead. I passed. He goes, who'd you give the scroll to? I told you to give it to me. He goes, I gave it to Iruka. He found me first, so I showed him my clone jutsu, and he took it. He goes, good job. You didn't do what I said you're supposed to do, so I can't give you safe passage into Odo, but right now you are wanted. He goes, actually, I'm not. You see, only the Anbu are supposed to be looking for me. Isn't that right, Weasel? Weasel appears out of the trees and goes, yeah, only the Anbu were told to look for him, except for Iruka. Iruka always knows where to find him. I'm also going to stand back because there's a really menacing person right behind you that's currently like 6 foot, 7 foot. I don't want to mess with him. And all you just hear is grunting from behind Mizuki. Mizuki turns around and sees this 7 foot hulking metal beast. You see him right there. And he's just holding this sword. And I completely forgot to look up its name. Hold on. You see him holding this sword. This sword looks like it's on fire. Well, completely heated up, like it's fresh out of the forge. And he roars animalistically and just starts swinging the sword down, cracking the ground, sending waves of fire out. It's like 3 feet forward, waves of fire, not anything massive. And he sees that he's getting nowhere, so he pulls this giant object from his back, shoves the sword inside of it, grabs the giant, basically tube object, and it shrinks down. And the entire, basically, blade of the axe now lights up. And he starts slamming that forward in like the Iron Banner. Yeah, it's one of those axes. And these giant columns of fire just go rushing forward. And Mizuki is trying his damnedest to dodge. He's barely dodging. And all you hear is this maniacal giggle. This girly maniacal giggle from the background. And all of a sudden, you just see this person just start flashing around the place in like this Naruto run stance. And she goes, what's wrong, Mizuki? We knew you were going to betray us. So I brought my friend along. He really wants to tear you apart. Naruto is getting freaked out because he doesn't know who this giant metal guy is. Hiruzen knows who this giant metal guy is. Iruka, who finally got into the office, doesn't know who this giant metal guy is. So Sarutobi's like, that's his suit. Now shut up and watch. And he's giddy like a little child. So she keeps flashing around and she keeps telling him what his crimes are. And finally, Rhino just gets tired of this, raises his foot to roughly beginning of his chest and stomps as hard as he could onto the ground. And in a split second, he charged Mizuki, throwing him into a tree. Yes, he has Stomp, Roar, Charge, and Iron Skin, but Iron Skin is always active, so you don't have to worry about me activating it. He stomps, and his foot digs into the ground and charges Mizuki, blinding speed, throwing him into a tree, cracking 90% of his ribs, breaking his legs because he aimed for his pelvis area, shattering his the bones in his thighs. Completely forgot what the name of those bones are, but shattering them and throwing him into a tree. His breaths are labored. Oh, it's going to get worse for him. And he just walks right up to Mizuki, grabs him by the neck, holds him up, looks at Itachi, looks at Mizuki, puts him in his right hand. The axe is now on his back. Winds up in a pitcher stance and lets it rip towards Itachi. And Itachi used like 30 different clones. Water, shadow, and wind clones that he learned from Laz to catch Mizuki before he could faceplant into a tree and die. And Laz appears right next to him and goes, you know, this suit has a few sharp spots. Looks at her and the basically suit starts to shrink down. And it looks like it's basically melting into his wrists and his ankles. And now he has a collar on his throat that has the image of a rhino. That's important too. He also has basically what looks like a crown adorning his headband on his forehead. And no, I do not have a duck's butt on my head. I have hair that looks like Naruto's, all spiky everywhere. And yes, I gave myself a better haircut than a duck's ass on my head. So she looks at me and goes, that's not that fast. You could have gone further. And I go, yeah, you're right. I could have gone further. In the Hokage's office, he's really giddy. He's like, he's making me one. He's making me one. And Iruka's like, what the hell just happened? And Hiruzen fills him in on his project of his two different Kekkei Genkais and Kekkei Toda. His metal release and his Titan release, which I'll explain later. And how Elizabeth has Swift and Hurricane release. I'm not calling it Storm release, or I could call it Weather release, but I'm calling it Hurricane release for reasons later. So actually, I should call it Atlas release, but I'm not going to. So we go to the Hokage's office with everybody in it. Itachi, Naruto, Laz, and myself. With Iruka and the Hokage. Sandaemon's like, I knew Naruto could pass anyway, so I really don't want to do this. But you three are a team. You three are a team. This team is so overpowered. Your Jonin Sensei is Hatake Kakashi. I immediately look up into the rafter and go, dog! And he jumps down and be like, what the hell? I look at him and go, dog! And I immediately look up to the right and go, you have a sparring partner, cat. I unseal the axe and it slams to the ground. I grab the handle and it thickens up and I pull out the sword. And I'll tell you why that works like it does in a minute. And I seal the axe back in, and I go, see? And I let the sword go into reverse grip and sink into the ground. I'm like, oops, I sharpened it a little too much. And Laz directly looks at me and goes, you don't say. With how you make metals and how you make everything, it's going to stay like that for years. Still got to clean it every once in a while, but it's still going to look like that for years. And if I put any chakra into my arms, it's going to light up on fire. Torch the entire building. I'm putting this back in its ceiling spot. I pull it out, point it towards myself, and I seal it into my elbow. And everybody's like, okay, you know way too much about whatever or you specialize in. And I go, I specialize in, I'm supposed to be the front, and I won't move no matter what. And they're like, what does that mean? I go, you put me in one spot and face me towards the enemies aren't getting past me. If I have to raise rock walls 90 feet into the air or 90 meters into the air and fight in a one lane area, I will. And they all look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I will do it. I ain't scared. Laz immediately walks right behind him, slams his head into the ground. I go, I deserve that. And pass out. And Itachi just snickers in the background. And she immediately turns towards him and like, you want the same treatment? I'll hit you just as hard. And he goes, I'm good. I'm currently asleep, but Naruto starts snickering and she immediately looks at him and he goes, I'm good. So yes, she's like Sakura right this second. No, Sakura ain't going to be on the team. And no, she's not going to act like Sakura all the time. So we go a week later. Everything's calmed down. Iruka's walked in. I'm currently bandaged up in my seat, tied up in a rope. And Iruka's like, I really want to ask, but at the same time, I don't. She goes, I don't suggest you ask. I just mumble underneath my bandages. It was an accident. I didn't know you were staying over the night. All I hear is from underneath my bandages. And she goes, shh. No one cares. I just death glare her. And she brings up her fist. I immediately wince back. Yes, it's going to be like that for a while. So, we go 30 minutes later. He's explained the first 6 teams. Yes, Sakura's on team 1. I ain't giving her any other team. No, she's not passing. But team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Elizabeth, God damn it, Elizabeth Higurashi, and Sasuke Uchiha. All the fangirls start to groan, and I'm just cheering in my band, just like, because I'm stuck. They just see me bouncing in my seat, and she just starts snickering, and she just goes right up next to my ear and goes, you look like an absolute idiot. I just deadpan at her and say, I am underneath my bandages. And everybody understood that. Everybody, well, Kiba heard what she said and starts busting out laughing and goes, how are you an idiot when you're the smartest person in class? And he goes, I'm actually not. I've gotten my a mouth to move the bandages to where I can actually talk now. I go, I'm actually not. The smartest person in this class is Naruto. And everybody's like, what? I go, if I didn't tell him to be the last person in class so we could be on the same exact team, because I knew that Sandame would do this, and all the Jonin are currently watching like, what? Kakashi isn't there because, as well, he already knows everybody from his team and knows basically what's happening right now. And I go, if I didn't tell him to be the last, he would have been first. Honestly, I could have been last, but I gotta uphold the Uchiha name, and it's so stupid. But now that that's all over, I could be however the hell I want. Naruto looks at me and goes, you gonna get that stick out your ass then? I go, I never had one to begin with. He goes, you acted like you had one. I go, yeah, I really did not like being the brooding emo. I hated it. They all look at me like, what? I go, yeah, I hate acting like I'm a stuck-up prick. I like friends. And all the rookie 9 are like, yeah, he likes friends. And all the fangirls are like, what the hell's going on? I just look directly at Laz and go, can you untie me now? I have an itchy nose and I really want to get back to my blueprints. And they all look at me like, what? And she goes, yeah. Fine. So she takes out a very sharp weapon. And it looks like she's about to hack my head off. And cuts a little tiny chakra wire. Or ninja wire. Right at my neck. Which undoes all the bandages. All of the rope. And all the wire underneath the rope. Just completely undoing it all. And I go, thank you. Since I don't really have a wind affinity, I can't cut myself out very easily. And she goes, I know. That's why I did it. I go, little piece of crap. And she goes, you want to backtalk me even further? I go, no, ma'am. And I just hear a whoosh from a whipping sound from the front rows. I'm like, Kiba, don't even get me started. I'll get your mother. And he goes, no, sir, I'm good. And Shikamaru just in the back goes, troublesome. I'm like, I'll get a freaking frying pan for your mother. He goes, ah. So Iruka's like, can I continue? And I go, yes, sir. He goes, teammate, Hinata, Kiba, and Shino. These are really stacked teams. I start laughing in the back. And he goes, okay, Team 9 still in circulation. Team 10, Ina Shikacho. And walks out. And Kakashi walks in and be like, yo, I look at him like he's a different person. Be like, our sensei is a ghost. And everybody's like, what? I go, Kakashi Hatake doesn't come till 3 hours after he's supposed to arrive. He's currently an hour early. Everybody's like, what? Shikamaru's holding up a cross. Shino made a cross out of bugs. Choji is just holding up a disgusting bag of chips that he's had since he was born, basically. You know, a disgusting flavor. Be like, stay away. Ina just goes to her happy place, and all of them are looking at the clan children, and Laz like, what the hell's going on? And in the office of the Hokage, everybody's laughing their ass off. And Kakashi's like, fine, I'm not going to get you. I thought I'd be here early just for you guys, but man, you guys don't want me. So I poofs out of existence. And I pull out a book from nowhere and be like, does he know I stole his book from when he was right in front of us? And both Laz and Naruto just start cracking up. And you just hear from across the town being like, where's my book? Just, where's my book? And everybody looks at me and goes, you're dead, aren't you? And I go, no. They go, why? He goes, he knows what I can really do. And Shino and Shikamaru's like, without your weight, seals, and your armor on? I go, yeah. Everybody looks at me and goes, you're what, and what? I go, it's none of your business. Most of you aren't going to even be shinobi, so you guys don't need to know. So I get up. I walk out of the room and be like, I'm going to the roof. I'm taking a nap for 3 hours. Well, technically 4. Looks at Kiba, goes, remember, your teacher hates perverts. Looks at, hey, I flick a seal at her. She catches it and looks at it and goes, what is this? And I go, put it on the back of your teacher's neck and you'll enjoy it. And I walk out. Asuma's like, okay, note to self, don't allow her to get behind you. And they're about to head out. It's been like 30 minutes. They're about to head out. And someone knocks on the door. And it's a nondescript Chunin that walks in and be like, Okage-sama, I have another stack of papers for you from the IT, from T&I department. And he goes, okay, put it on my desk. And puts it on the desk, and it walks right over to Asuma and is like, you're Asuma Saratobi, right? And he goes, yeah. A note from Enko Mitarashi. He opens it, and it says, you still owe me for stealing my dango. And he goes, I never stole her damn dango. And he just reaches up and is like, we all know it was really Sasuke. And he goes, exactly. And only one person, Kurenai, they saw the seal slither from the back of his shoulder to the back of his neck. And Asuma walks right over to the window. Kurenai is still watching the seal intently to see what it does. He walks up to a window, opens it, pulls out a cigarette because he's shaking in fear, lights it, and is about to take a puff out of it, and he feels sharp pain in the back of his neck. And he drops the cigarette out the window right into a bucket of water that's outside the window, because Saratobi does drop a lit stuff out of his window every once in a while. Kurenai busts out laughing, and everybody's like, what's going on? And she goes, that was Ino. And Hiruzen looks through the papers and like, you're right. Shows the papers are completely blank. He looks at the note and sees on the back, totally from Ino. And he goes, that little shit. I'm going to make her training 3 times harder than she had in the academy. Immediately, Saratobi's like, she's already doing 20 times harder than what the academy makes him do. They all snap to him. He goes, I know most of the basically limits of all the genin that are going to be passing. I do not suggest you underestimate any of them. Looks immediately at Kurenai and is like, whatever you do, do not be in taijutsu range for Hinata. Make sure you have a backup plan for when Kiba comes after you. And whatever you do, do not kill a bug around Shino. Looks directly at Asuma. I'm sorry, but she just can't win. He looks away and looks at a corner and is like, remember, do not allow him to get into his armor. And just continues. Everybody looks at the corner and just sees a flash out. Or a poof out of existence from the corner. And everybody's like, Kakashi was here the entire time. He goes, nope. He just arrived. Wondering why you guys weren't there yet. So, 4 hours after the incident in the classroom with Kakashi. He arrives on the roof and sees Sasuke Uchiha napping, Naruto Uzumaki going through a Seals book, level 5 of 5 by Madara Hyuga, and Laz going through a Torture and Interrogation for Dummies, level 10 of 20 from Madara Hyuga. Yeah. And a book on the ground that says, Getting Girls, level 1 of 1 by Madara Hyuga. And he's like, what is this book? He opens it up and says, level 1 and only 1. Don't be a pervert. Be a gentleman. Rule number 1. Do not read Each of Paradise. Rule number 2. Do not do what Jiraiya does. Rule number 3. And it just keeps going on rules of why not to be a pervert and more of a gentleman. And he immediately snaps it shut and looks at and death glares at them. And he goes, okay, who put this book here? And Sasuke wakes up when the book snaps and he goes, that book was there when I got here. And Lad's like, yeah, I got here roughly the same time he did. It was already here. She looks at Sasuke and he's like, thank you for the gift. He goes, oh, God. I forgot when your birthday is, so I kind of got you that. She goes, you forgot that it was today? He goes, wait, it's today? She goes, you totally forgot it was today, didn't you? I go, yeah. How do you like the level 10 book? She goes, oh, it's just what I needed. He goes, good. Kashi. And he leans forward. Don't let me forget that her birthday's today. And he goes, I got you. I go, I don't feel comfortable with that whatsoever. He goes, don't worry, I got you. I go, I still don't feel comfortable, but okay. I look at him and go, we already know everything about each other, so we don't need to introduce each other. When's the bell test? He goes, what do you mean bell test? I go, when's the bell test? You're going to do the bell test, right? He goes, yeah. How do you know about the bell test? I go, bruh, you know my situation with the Hokage, right? And he goes, yeah. I go, you know my actual situation. He goes, yeah. I go, you don't think I would have known about the bell test, right? He goes, yeah. And he goes, quick question. I go, And he goes, did you steal my book? He goes, no, but I did steal the bells. And I toss one to Laz and one to Naruto and goes, we pass, right? And he goes, oh, God. He reaches into his pouch to make sure the bells aren't there and pulls out his book and goes, please tell me you didn't just use Karoimi to switch my book with the bells. I'm gone already. And Laz goes, he left a note. And it said, everybody gets dinner at my place. And he goes, his place? I thought it was Itachi's place now. She goes, he's next door to Itachi's. Itachi won't go into the main building because he did kill his own father in that building. But Sasuke still lives in it because he just likes living in it and there's more space. Yeah, it's fair. So at his place, roughly what time? She goes, he says 9 o'clock at night. And he goes, okay. So it's 9 o'clock at night. Everybody shows up. And he goes, okay. Now that we're all here, I got a few things to say. Walks right up to Kakashi, puts something down on the table, being like, relearn how to use the sword. Walks right up to Naruto, puts something small on the table, and goes, that is your legacy. And walks out of the room. Kakashi's like, why do I need to opens up the package and sees the fixed chakra saber. And it has a note attached to the hilt. It says, stronger. Will not be broken unless you want it broken. He has one tear go down his face. Now, on to what Naruto gets. He opens up a wooden box, an old wooden box, and sees a rusty old kunai with a saying on the handle. And I don't know if this is actually what is said on the handle of the 3-pronged kunais, but it's a 3-pronged kunai, and it says, for true power, look to your precious people. And for true strength, protect those precious people. That's what it said on the kunai for this universe. So, sue me if you don't like it. Please don't actually sue me. It's just what happens in this AU. I don't remember every single detail of Naruto. I'm sorry. The very next day, during the Genin tests for everybody, Hiruzen is talking to Kakashi, being like, okay, what do you mean they passed the very first day? And he goes, you didn't expect them to fail, did you? And he goes, no, but you're supposed to do it today. And he goes, he stole the bells before I even told them about the test. And plus, you told me that he's a reincarnator, and he saw that there's one future where Naruto's still freaking idiot. He's a brooding asshole, and Sakura was on my team. He goes, yeah. I'm thankful that he's not that person. He goes, true. So I completely understand. Their first mission, here you go. It says, catching Tora. He goes, you know they're gonna be pissed, right? He goes, yeah. But they gotta start somewhere. They need at least 16 D ranks to get a C rank. He goes, fine. So I walk out, and I immediately am in front of him, and I go, check, catching Tora? He goes, yeah. He goes, follow me. I walk directly into the forest, and I take a few turns in the woods, and I walk up right into near a stream. I go, Tora, get out here. Lads, get out here. Naruto, get out here. All three of them appear, being like, what? Tora just meows. I go, Tora, remember the training I gave you? Tora meows. I go, okay. Since the three of us can catch Tora at our fastest speed, we all look at Kakashi and goes, it's your turn to try to catch Tora at her fastest speed. And he goes, no, this is your job. And they all look at him and go, we can do it solo. It's your turn to feel the pain of Tora when she can water walk and tree walk. And he goes, you did what? I go, Tora can water and tree. He goes, you just made this 30 times harder. And I go, I know, and it's great. So, 30 minutes of Kakashi chasing down Tora later, I'm holding Tora in my arms and petting Tora and being all nice and cuddly with Tora. I walk into the office. Lady Shijimi is about to take Tora. I'm like, please wait, Lady Shijimi. I'd like to talk to you for a bit. Can we go over there for a little bit so I can discuss something with you? Because I feel I understand why Tora keeps running away. And I would like to get your opinion on this. So I walk over to the corner. I'm talking to Lady Shijimi. Lady Shijimi looks horrified at the revelation that I just gave her. And I hand Tora over, and she starts petting Tora and basically holding her softly. And Shijimi is basically almost in tears at Tora not trying to run away from her just by her holding her. So she walks up to the Hokage, pulls out a sack that's 3 times what's supposed to be in this sack, slams it on the desk, and says, "Give him a raise," and walks out with Tora happy in her arms. And everybody looks at me and goes, "What the hell did you just do?" And I said, "I stopped the catching Tora mission." And they all look at me and go, "You just made your own sensei catch Tora for you to stop with the catching Tora mission." I go, No. I made my own sensei catch a nin animal to protect the daimyo to stop the mission. And Hiru's like, wait, what? I go, I taught Tora everything she knows. Tora apparently has a water and earth affinity. So I taught Tora how to fire water dragons, earth dragons, and all other different things. Tora is at the same level of chakra as currently Sakura is. They're like, that is, wait, what? And I go, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome because there's nothing no one can do to Lady Shijimi with Tora around. Tora can send off one fireball to the sky as a warning for the 12 Ninja Guardians that someone's attacking Lady Shijimi. And goes on the tangent of why Tora should have learned this stuff earlier, because Tora apparently he has had potential in being a nin animal since ever. And I start mumbling to myself and thinking of ways to give Tora armor to make Tora even stronger. And I'm now in my own corner just mumbling to myself, making it look like I'm Izuku Midoriya from MHA, with the mumbly rappling around me in this like deadly armor. And Lad's like, he's gonna be like that for a good 30 minutes. Anything else you need us to do? He goes, no, I'm gonna give you guys trouble, pain in the ass missions from now on. So we go a month later. Yes, it's a month. Tazuna, the bridge builder. Yes, it's going to be Wave Arc now. So I walk in and be like, we now have 16 D ranks under our belt. 16 D ranks that never need to be done again under our belt. He goes, yes. Looks directly at the Chunin and is like, take out the 100 stack we have. He goes, okay. Opens up an entire filing cabinet and starts throwing them into a barrel. He walks over, does a few hand seals, and lights it all on fire. And this is out on the balcony, so now there's a smoke signal going up, and Anbu appear and start cheering because it's a file destroying basically a barrel. Because once D-rank missions get too much, Anbu go from Anbu to Chunin to actually do D-ranks because they need to get it done. And this barrel is only used when a giant chunk of D-ranks are taken out of rotation at one point in time. So they're cheering, they're having a good time, being like, we don't need to do those D-ranks anymore. But now they're all thinking like, what D-ranks did they do? I just start snickering in the background, and I go, give us a C rank. He goes, okay. He goes, there's a client that needs to go to Wave. I'm like, we're taking it. Kakashi looks at me and goes, apparently we're taking it. I go, we're taking it anyway, but yeah, we're taking it. Laz goes, oh God, here we go again. I go, finally I get to show my Titan form. They all look at me and go, you've only shown Rhino once. I go, yes, I know. They go, what's this stronger version? I go, he can be one punch. He can be, and she immediately cuts him out off and goes, Have you finished Hurricane? He goes, yes. Gives her a choker, and she goes, as long as you didn't give me a dog collar. He goes, that's totally not an accessory that you could put on that. And stuff something back in my pocket, and she just death glares me, going, "Give it." I go, "Fine." Hands it over. It has a little star that says Laz on it, and she goes, "I really hate you." Clicks it onto the dog collar and puts it on. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Here's like, should I say anything? And he's looking at Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, no, you shouldn't. So it's now 8 a.m. the next morning. Tazuna's sitting at the gate waiting for his escort. He just sees this giant thing walking towards him with a scroll in its hand, something on its back, a sword on its hip, just walking towards him, and hands him a tiny scroll compared to it. And he opens up the scroll, and it says, "Here for escort to wave." He goes, yeah, that's me. What's your name? He goes, whoo, I don't need to wear this anymore. So he shrinks down from 7-ish foot to roughly 6'2". Yes, I peeked out really quickly. I peaked my height really quickly. Don't worry. Laz appears next to me and goes, "Why did you do that?" I go, "It's either that or he calls me an emo brooder, because I have that stuck on my face from now on. I'm trying to get rid of it, but I have that stuck currently. Naruto, who just appeared, a midget." He goes, "I'm not a midget." Oh, yeah, you are. And you? Oh, just you. He goes, "She kind of looks like somebody's pet." I go, "That's what I meant." And starts backing up very slowly. And she's like, "I'm nobody's pet." And she's death glaring the client. And Kakashi goes right up behind her and clicks something to the back of her neck and steps back a few feet. And she lunges at him and gets flung back. And I go, I should have told her about that part. She starts death glaring me and goes, "You did not just put a leash link on this collar, did you?" I go, "No, that's been there since I gave it to you." She goes, "You put it under a genjutsu, didn't you?" I go, "Yeah. It's kind of for when you go a little crazy," and I gave Kakashi the leash. She death glares Kakashi and be like, "Give it." He goes, "Nope." He flicks it, it comes undone, and it retracts into his glove. And I start running out the gates, be like, "You'll never take me alive." I'm a good mile down the road, and she's like, "Once we get back in the village, I'm ripping him a new asshole." She's pissed. So Tazuna just sweat drops, and they all sign out. Kakashi signs out for me and goes, "I ain't signing him back in. So if he runs by, send on Anbu on him." And Izumo and Kotetsu are like, "Gotcha." All of a sudden, something pops into their booth, and it says, if you sign in for me, I'll gladly give you another one of my books." And it just shows a book. And it's titled The Book, Volume 10. And I'm like, "No, we'll sign in for him." My precious. Yes, there's 9 other volumes to that. And they go into town, and it says, "The Book, Volume 10, out now." And I'm like, yes, we got one of those signed copies. So yes, it is called The Book. I'm not telling you what's in it yet, but it will come into the play in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun. So, on our way to Wave, I'm currently swinging around my sword like it weighs nothing, because it basically does. And Lad's like, "Are you done playing with your giant stick?" I'm like, "It's not a giant stick. It's my giant metal rod." She looks at me just plain straight face and goes, "I don't care. It's your giant metal stick. Now put it down." Oh, come on. It's my fun metal stick. She goes, "Put it down." I go, "Fine." I seal it back into my elbow. I go, I remade those weapons that your dad made. Spikes are bigger. Channel's chakra even better. Oh, and the chain can be infinite depending on how much chakra you add to it. But I don't feel like giving it to you anymore. She's like, "Give it to me now." I'm like, "No, I'm good." Like, "Please, give it to me, please." I go, I would really like to see someone do that. She's like, "What?" I go, "You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it." She goes, "If you want me to bark, I'll bark." Like, no. I just pull out of nowhere cat ears and a cat tail that hooks to the back of pants. I go, "No one would let me see them wear this." She goes, "In private, I'll do it." I go, "Deal." She goes, "If you take a damn picture of it, I'm going to castrate you so fast with a rusty spoon, you won't even know what to do with yourself after." I go, "Deal." I'm going to use my Sharingan, though. She goes, "That's fine." I go, "What?" She takes the tail and ears, looks at the tail and goes, "This isn't what you told me it was." I go, and it gets sealed away in her glove, and she goes, "I'm castrating you with a rusty kunai now." And I go, "You already signed the deal." She goes, "For one that hooks to the pants." And I go, "No, for the one in my hand." And a contract appears out of nowhere, and it says, it specifies, and she goes, "You motherfucker. You made me sign that verbally." And I go, "Yep." And everybody's just staring at us like we're crazy. All of a sudden I walk into a puddle, and my weight from my shoe drops off. And I go, "Oops, that's not supposed to happen." I look back, and it's stuck in a puddle, and I go, "Huh, I'll leave it there. I can get a new one." I start walking away. Laz just busts out laughing from my reaction to that. And all of a sudden the genjutsu drops. I'm like, "Get this thing off of us." They can't move their arm. It's currently stuck on both their arms. And they're like, "Get this thing off of us." And I go, "Oh. No wonder it dropped off, because it's a quick release when it has foreign chakra near it." I walk right over, grab them by the throats, lift them up, and like, the two arm braces click off, and I go, "I really need to fix that." So I slam their heads together, drop them, immediately pick up my braces, put them back on. I walk over to a corner and start scribbling something down on them with my inkwell and brush that popped out of nowhere. I made the radius too big. I start fixing that. My Sharingan is on, so I can fix the small little details. And now it's tinier. Good. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Remove that. Add that. There we go. All right, flare my chakra just a tiny bit. It's more than a jutsu, but it's there. So, it's now time for entertainment. I sit down and start watching Kakashi interrogate them on why they're there. Or they tell him everything about Gato. And I go, off to way we go. Hi-ho, hi-ho. And Laz immediately comes and decks me in the back of the head. Like, no. No 7 little dwarves. I go, off to work I go. Thump. Just completely out of it. She lifts me up like it's nothing, throws me on her back, and just starts walking. And Tazuna's like, is that normal? And Kakashi's like, yeah, it's completely normal. Off to work we go. And she just starts death glaring Kakashi and goes, no singing that song ever. And Kakashi's like, yes, ma'am. Shuts his mouth and continues walking, but starts humming it. And she just starts releasing killing intent everywhere. Animals go everywhere. They make it to the docks. Kakashi's still humming the song. I'm finally awake. Just like, I really don't want to get hit again. But I continue walking with him. We get to the shores of Wave. I immediately snap my fingers. Kakashi goes immediately serious. And I start doing Anbu hand signs saying chakra in mist. Not natural. And both Laz, Naruto, and Kakashi all nod to me. Kakashi knows that I'm a really good sensor. Laz knows that I'm an even better sensor than she is, and she's already a really good sensor. So, they trust me. That is a very bad idea, trusting me. Very bad idea. So, we go to maybe 10 minutes into inland, and it's been quiet, a little too quiet. All of a sudden, I make him stop, immediately transform into Rhino as I hear whooshing. Yes, whooshing. I get something in the air. And this giant cleaver blade slams into my side. I look at it, pick it up, swing it around, and throw it back. Faster and stronger than it was thrown at me. So, you just hear like 5 trees falling down in the background. And you just see Zabuza shunshin onto a tree, the side of a tree, being like, you know, that was very rude. I look at him and just go, he goes, that's not very nice, laughing at me. And she goes, oh, no. He's not laughing at you. He's laughing at where you are. Zabuza looks down, and he just sees this phallus-shaped object on the tree, and he goes, huh. That stinks. A sprinkler came out of the grass. That's not good. But yeah. He's standing on a phallus-shaped object carved into the tree. And he goes, how the hell did this get here? wasn't here when I originally appeared. And I looked directly at Naruto in the rhino and gave him a thumbs up. And Kakashi just starts giggling like a little schoolgirl because something appears on in Zabuza's face. And Laz just busts out a gut as something appears on Zabuza's chest. And I drop the rhino and I start laughing so hard. I fall to the ground. And he's like, "What are you laughing at now?" And I just start pointing at him. And he looks around. He sees this giant message on his chest that says, "I'm the puppy of the mist. Nobody can hear me bark." And he just goes red with anger. And I immediately Shunshin away. And then Shunshin back. Pull off the mask of the person that's next to me and goes, "You know, you're not quite far enough. But I understand if you need to be that close to save him, but you're not quite far enough to stay at his detection range. I only have a 100-meter detection range. How is it that hard to stay away from me that long, that far? Even Donzo's cronies, who are currently behind us, know how to stay away from my detection range." And Kakashi's like, "God damn it." So, I was like, which one do I want me to take care of? Mr. No Brows or the root cronies behind us? And they can't hear any of the stuff that we're doing because they're just to watch me and see my skills. I go, flip a coin. She goes, "Okay, I'll call it in the air." So I flip the coin up. Nobody knows except for me that it's a trick coin. It's always tails. She goes, heads, no brows. I could choose heads, no brows. I grab it. I go, "Ooh, you got to deal with Donzo's cronies." She goes, "Damn it. I'll try to save their heads." And she activates the collar around her neck. Well, the bottom part of the collar. And it makes her suit. Her Swift suit. And I go, "Okay, Zabuza, I want to try something. And if you win, all this humiliation is forgotten by everybody, including me. But if you lose, you have to give up and kill Gato." He goes, "What do I gain what if I get if I win? Because that ain't the good enough deal." I go, "All proceeds from the book sales." He looks at me and goes, "You don't have that power." I go, "Yeah, I do." And he looks at me and goes, "Show me." I pull out this 10-page, basically, contract of how I would give all my sales of the book to Zabuza, Momochi, and Haku Yuki from the Yuki clan to support the rebels in Kiri, the rebels of Bloody Mist Revolution in Kiri. If he can beat me in a Kenjutsu and Taijutsu only match. And Zabuza's like, "Deal." I'm like, "Okay." 6 clicks later, left wrist guard falls off. Another 6 clicks, right wrist guard falls off. And they hear 4 clicks from each leg. Those 2 fall off. I'm now just in sneakers and gloves. I'm like, "Don't worry." All of a sudden, a poof appears in my hand. Kubikiri Bocho. I flip it around and hand it to Zabuza. He's like, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, oh, don't worry. I can already shred that sword like it's paper. I pull out my sword. I'm going to end it here on a cliffhanger. Sorry. But I'm tired. And it's already been an hour and 30 minutes. Well, damn. Wave Arc is going to be done in the next one. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. If this is coming out in the day I think it is, I'm probably going to be heading towards my cabin. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.